Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Legacy Core Class Hot Rod figure. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're then going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. Because he's Hot Rod, he's obviously a very popular character, so we can see how he compares with his original Generation 1 self. One of the newest versions of him that has been released. But again, these are much bigger and different classes. So we'll actually have a look at another, I suppose, core class or legend scale class figure of him, just to make it the comparison a bit fairer. But I'm sure he's already looking, and most people agree, he's probably looking a bit better than this version of him already. Okay then, before we get started, I'd like to remind anybody who's not a subscriber to this channel, if they'd like to subscribe to this channel for me, please, because again, it really will help me out. And also quickly, before we open this box up, I need to thank Robot Recruits, because that's the online retailer that I brought it from in the UK. And as you can see, they sent him out to me nice and safely. Now on the box, we've got some stunning artwork there of Hot Rod. On the side, there he is with his sword. That's some beautiful artwork, to be honest. Look at the detail on that. And there, of course, is the Energon sword. Then, of course, we've got the logo there at the front. And we've got the main font there. And, of course, his alternate mode right there. Let's have a look what's inside the box then. And here we go. Slide this out. He is still stuck in with some plastic tie wraps. We've got the instructions. I'm going to set him free from there and come right back to you. So there you go, we can see we've set him free from the packaging, and first impressions of this guy is he's looking really good. Nice detail there in the front, lovely detail in that tiny tamper-graphed Autobot logo, nice blue colour there for the eyes. You've got the detail on the front of the helmet. The head does actually spin around as well, which is brilliant. I can actually feel, yeah. Now, although I've never, as I say, done a review of this figure or seen anybody else's, because I do like news update videos, I know that there's been some upgrade kits for this figure, and it is for the gaps. And I mean, okay, yes, he's got a gap in the back of the head there, but it's the back of the head. You can hardly see it, and it's not really visible. I mean, I can feel it there, but it doesn't bother me, or I think enough to warrant to buy a gap filling kit. We've got ball and socket joints in the shoulders, ball and sockets in the biceps, ball and socket in the hips again, ball and socket in the knees. And no, the feet are completely fused. The wheels spin around. They perhaps could have maybe painted that black, just maybe, again, that's me being a little pedantic. It would have just made it look that little bit better. And I can't really see, I mean, obviously I can see there's gaps there in the side of the legs, but this is just fresh out of the packaging. It might not even be the proper way to have him in a robot. We'll have a more detailed look at that in a second. I just think first impressions, he's looking great. And the sword that he comes with as well, this is looking, again, look, you've got the nice detail on it. It's not just flat. There's some lovely moulded aspect, yeah, detail on it. It looks great. Right, what we need to do now then, let's have a detailed look at him in his alternate mode and see what he looks like then. So then, as you can see, we're back. He's in his alternate mode. And again, quick apologies, no transformation process on this video. It will be uploaded separately. Couple of reasons. One, to keep the length of the video down. And two, with this being a new figure, there's quite a clever, very clever and quite intricate little transformation process that I don't want to spoil for you if you don't want to see it. Mine seems to have a little issue with the fact that this isn't fully staying in. As you can see, it's popping out. I don't think I've done it wrong. It pops in, but then it clicks out. Whether or not it will stay in after a few more transformations, we will see. But at the moment, as you can see, it is popping out occasionally. But the alternate mode is great. It looks good. Most importantly, I think the fact that these line up, it really sort of bugs me on the Hot Rodimus Prime figures. I know there's a lot of confusing things there, and I'll clear that up in a second, when these don't line up. Again, the wheels spin round as we'd expect, and we can, of course, unfortunately see fully there that he is, of course, in the bottom there. If we can we turn the head around? I suppose thereabouts. But again, I'm being super picky with it being as small as it actually is. We can take his sword now, and you can see we've got a cutout there, and we can, of course, either put it on the top like that by the looks of this. So that's one way that you can display it, or by the looks of it as well, yep, there's a hole there. We can actually put it that way. And I think, did I just see another? No, that's just the cutout there. To be honest, that either way looks all right, to be honest. Not too sure why he's got a sword, but looks okay, looks okay. Maybe that's a bit of a Japanese influence with him having a sword, which brings me to the subject of obviously being Japanese. Let's have a quick look at this. So this is an original Japanese release of him, released with Star Convoy in 1991. So this is a Micromaster version of him, and yep, again, so you can see how pretty much, well, you know, I suppose the size class, if we have a look at him compared to his original G1 self, he's tiny. So we've got, like, I suppose, a little family going on here of them all. But again, you know, this is a core class figure. It does look good, and it scales with the rest of the figures, and I suppose that's what's really important when it comes to core class figures. And yeah, I suppose, as I say, clearing up the Rodimus thing, in Japan he was known as Rodimus and Hot Rodimus, so that's why when we do the Combiner Wars check in a second, they're pretty much, of course, we know the same character. But I don't think there's much more to say about this alternate mode, apart from, unfortunately, it does look like mine isn't staying in, but I'll do it a few more times before I finish this video just to make sure. Anyway, let's come back and have a look at him in robot mode. So here we are then, back for the final time in the robot mode to do some comparisons, see him with his accessory, and of course, main reason, this is how I'm going to be displaying him. Now, I won't say unfortunately, because I think that's a bit of a too harsh word, but now we've transformed him back completely, it does appear that all this kibble at the back is exactly where it should be. And yes, that does mean there's a gap there, and perhaps, maybe, again, being really, I suppose, picky, they could have worked out a way to put a hinge to fold it in. But this is what I want to say on the subject. This is your bog standard core class figure. So it's the lowest price point, and it's very good. On the same hand, I do know, of course, there are other third-party companies that make amazing and indeed brilliant legend scale class figures with 3 or 4 times much better engineering. But they are also 3, 4 and sometimes 5 times more expensive than what you're getting for your money here. From standing this in a robot mode facing forwards, it looks brilliant, you know, of course, and that's mostly how people are going to display it. If it's children playing with it, then they're going to appreciate the fact that this is only, you know, the 8 steps to transform it, whereas the New Age, the Iron Factory and all them sort of stuff, again, brilliant figures, but they are much more intricate and probably, let's be honest, not aimed at children anyway. Anyway, I hope I've cleared that up. I think it looks good. And as I say, that's taking nothing away from any of the other third-party companies who do also make brilliant little figures as well. So let's take his sword. We can pop this in his hand. And he looks, you know, he looks great like that. That's where it's going to be a problem when he's got on the side, because you can see that big gap in his legs. But again, from the front, everything all tucked in. I think it looks great. Let's start to see how he does scale and compare then. So we've, of course, I'm only lucky enough to have Skywarp yet, and unfortunately, because I don't have Iguanus, I won't be able to build the sword up, but we can have a look at what we can do with it, and it's not too much either, to be honest, because of course these won't connect that way. We can perhaps connect that on the side like so. Maybe if I turn this around like that, it's not too bad. It's okay, but of course, yeah, we're definitely, it's not looking as good as it would do if we had the Iguanus attachment as well. Right, let's keep this small figure here for a second. Let's just take the weapons out of his hand, and let's bring in Combiner Wars Rodimus, as he was known, and let's have a quick look at these. So again, pretty much same characters. I know I'm going to get probably people leave comments in the box, but this does have the same articulation in the head. I think all it's lacking, oh no, it's got the articulation balls and sockets in the knees as well. There's not much difference in this one, to be honest. There was a bit of more difference between the Skywarp ones, but it does feel like an upgrade. This feels heavier, this feels quite light, and ironically, it does feel really hollow, which you can see it is. So yeah, it is a bit of an upgrade to it, to be honest. I do think it looks a lot better. Right, while we've got the little figures out in front of us, let's bring some more in to scale with him. So there, of course, is Optimus Prime, and there we go. And one more, to be fair. Let's get rid of the Decepticon and bring in little buzzworthy Bumblebee here. I believe this is the core class version of him. Yeah, they all look brilliant. I think they all look great. Really impressed with that. Right, let's move these out of the way and do some comparisons then. So we've got, in fact, we'll keep the little one there. This was the Titans Return version, which didn't get a great reception, and that's because, in all honesty, it's not a great figure. This is the original G1, which I still think, and I know I'm G1 biased, is better than this. Yeah, they never should have messed around with taking his head and stuff off. That just didn't work straight away. And we've got a couple more then. So this is the classics version of him, known as Rodimus. And then finally, the one that's the best, not including masterpiece figures. We do obviously have various loads more releases of this figure. I could probably fill out the whole step, but we don't want to be doing that. We just want to have a look at some decent comparisons. And this, of course, is the Studio Series 86, which is in a different league to them all. However, again, price-wise, brilliant, awesome, and he's a great character, isn't he? I know that a lot of people don't like him for whatever reason it is that they choose to not like him, but let's just talk about the figure that we're reviewing, and that is, of course, this little one here. I hope I've managed to do him some justice, to be fair. I've done quite a long video for such a core class figure, for such a small figure, but hopefully, as I say, this will help you with your decision if you wanted to get him in your collection. Let me know what you think. You may already have him because, as I say, he came out in Kingdom and I was very late to the party in getting him. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helps with your decision. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.